Today we're talking about the Pluto Camera Trigger. Welcome to Capture School. Today we're here at Parkwood Studios and we're going to be talking about the Pluto Camera Trigger.
Yep.
So, hello Scott.
It's good to see you again.
Good to see you again. So we are here and we have a cool little device that we want to chat about here.
Very versatile little device.
Pluto Trigger. You can see how tiny this is. So I've had other triggers throughout my photography career, and I saw this on the internet. A friend of mine told me about it, and I'm like, I don't need it. I eventually broke down and bought it, and this is way more featureful. So we're going to go through a few of those.
And it's a lot lighter weight. This wing only weighs a few grams.
Yeah.
Sits on your camera, you don't even know it's there.
So this is the actual trigger itself that you see on the screen here.
Yeah, and it comes in a whole kit.
Yep. So you get this box, you get a little satchel. It's the word of the month.
Satchel, yes.
Your little satchel. You get a bunch of wires. You get this little device, which we're going to go into, right?
Right.
Laser pointer.
Yep.
Different wires. And one of the things to point out is you have to pick out the camera model when you buy this so you get the correct
That's all
wire.
part of the ordering system when you order from them.
You got to pick. So I picked the Lumix wire. Yep. If you had multiple cameras, you could buy multiple wires.
You can.
And then we're going to get into this later on.
Yeah, it's an additional piece.
Additional accessory. So how many modes does this thing have?
It has 24 different modes you can shoot in.
24.
Unbelievable.
Wait, 24.
24.
All right, 24 things. So we're going to go over the laser first.
Yep.
So laser, you see on the screen here, is actually just a laser pointer, but you actually can build it in.
Point it to this. So
you point it into the actual trigger, and anything that falls through it or breaks
will trigger your camera.
Okay.
Yep.
So what would I use that for?
You can use that if you're doing dropping fruit, vegetables, any kind of things into water.
Yep.
So you set it up just above the water, and when it breaks it, trigger your camera. You get those. You get
every time.
Reliable.
Every time you're going to get the shot. Then
takes the timing away from you having to sit there and focus on the thing. And
traditional way is just guessing or hoping or hitting your trigger
trying to get the timing down. And yeah, this thing does the timing for you.
So one thing I want to mention with this, a lot of times when I use this, I'm in manual focus too. So I'm going to get everything set up, dial it in, put in manual focus, and then you don't have to worry about that element now. Now you can just focus on the creative part. Something else I came up with when we were looking for some pictures is hummingbirds. So if you had this and you set it up next to the feeder, when the bird comes up to the feeder right in front there, boom, it's going to break it. You're going to get these epic shots.
And a lot of people will set up several speed lights around, and once your camera triggers, it triggers all the speed lights, and you get that shot every time.
That comes with it. That's in the package.
Yep.
All right, there's the next one.
So this is extra. This is
potato gun.
I think it's yes. Pumpkin checker. It's about $40 more.
Okay.
And what that does, that is a water dropper. You set this up.
So you fill this all the way up.
Yep.
I use bottled water so that don't get any funky stuff in it. And then it'll have a little diode here, and not diode. It has a little relay, and it'll drop water at increments.
So it's adjustable.
It's adjustable. Yep.
Yeah, because it looks like in the photo we're seeing right now, there's one hitting the splash, and there's another couple on their way down.
Yeah, you're able to plug it in. It comes with a longer wire, and you can plug this in and everything.
Right to the trigger, yeah.
So you're trying to get this crowning that happens here. So what happens is it comes down, and then they collide, and then it explodes the bottom one. So you see the picture there. I'm not so great at it yet. We're still learning with this. This is one of my okay attempts. Again, you can see the focus is hard. You're focusing on something very narrow. It's like, so you have to, and this is huge. We blew this up to 65 inches. So and I cropped in. So you want to have something that has a lot of water underneath it. We were doing this in a cup, so I didn't have a lot of room.
So depth of water, you're saying, has an effect on the shape that you get.
Yeah.
I know some people get them where it comes up and it looks like a mushroom, and it's just
awesome.
It's kind
cool
of amazing.
Stuff.
Yeah.
So there's one. Yeah. So this one is with speed lights with gels on them, and they're going down and exploding. And so that it comes down, it hits the water, and then it blows out. And then if you get another one colliding, you get a little top on it and stuff, little mushrooms and things. Cool. There's a lot of cool stuff. Yeah. Everyone's different.
Well, that's the best part, right?
It's creative. Every single one of these, totally different.
Different type of liquid.
Liquid, you can use milk. This was, I think we did this at Larry's class, and it was Elmer's glue in water to make it white. And then the gels look differently on there. If you go back one to the other one, you can see the water is black, even though it's clear. When you put the Elmer's glue in it, now it's
opaque.
It's opaque. So the drop coming down can be clear, but when it hits that, you're now getting all the color in there and everything.
It's very cool. Look, you see the glossiness of it. It's really nice. Yeah.
You could do this for like hours, and because they're all slightly different, you could post-process them
So
too.
I've done this without it, and trying to get the timing right and doing all those things. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
So with the trigger, you can just like.
There is a little bit of tweaking this to get, because it drops at a speed, so you have to get the speed right, so it's not just pouring out of here and everything.
Okay.
So there is a little bit of troubleshooting to get the right feel
timing
to it. Yeah,
and
but
the water.
once you get it, now you can shoot a lot, and everyone's totally different. Like we said.
So can you control the water droplet size?
I think you could do how much and how fast.
Yeah, because it's got this connector on here. I would think you could put like a hose on the end or something to change the water drop size, maybe.
I think it was the amount of water, so the size and how much water is coming out you're allowed to do.
Okay. Yeah, because there's a couple of controls.
And how fast, because I was having them come out and it was like drip, 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 drip. I was like, all right, it's too fast.
Just let me say, this is pretty amazing looking. I love everything about this.
Yeah, it looks like someone built it in their garage, but it works. So
no, it's very, and you were saying it's very reliable.
yeah, it's reliable. Like this was definitely, off a production line. This is something that is probably first generation and needs a little bit of maybe a cover or something on it. It kind of, when I got it, I was like, is it missing something? But then we used it and it worked flawlessly.
So yeah, I could do several things. It's got a sound trigger.
Yep.
So sound trigger is pretty cool. You can do a lot of things with a sound trigger.
Yep. Shoot guns, blow up things. This was a pin, so when the balloon would pop, that noise would trigger that off. And you could extend it. On this one, we had an extended microphone coming out, so you can make different triggers for these and stuff, or buy other triggers not triggers, but other devices
that'll plug into it and work with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have an extended mic on that, and then running it off closer to it.
Cool.
So you don't get this wet.
And so this is clearly run off of sound as well.
Sound and shooting guns in the studio, everything about this is awesome.
Yeah. Looks like you're making quite a mess. That's nice.
So you had to stand the bulb up and then shoot it with a gun. We shot it with a BB gun, so we didn't kill anyone.
Yep.
And still had it all safe and had something to catch all the BBs and had everyone behind us and wore protective glasses and everything. So you didn't get glass in your eyes because it is exploding.
And yeah, you had plastic on the floors all the way around to
we had plastic all the way around. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I remember that.
But and then you set the camera up and again manual focus, and just explode them. And sometimes it gets expensive because sometimes it doesn't blow up that way, and you're like, okay, great, now all the gas is out of it. It just cracked it or something, and just top fell off. So some of them were duds, And
so exactly. So this picture is interesting because that light bulb was just standing there.
Yeah.
I think they used that jeweler's wax, a little drop of the jeweler's wax, and just press it down in there, and it just stayed there for you.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So because they're light, but this may be a shot you won't be able to get in 2 or 3 years because they're stopping these bulbs.
I know, can't get glass bulbs anymore.
They're making them all twisty ones and LEDs, and it's gonna not work.
So one of the things that I know a lot of people will use this for, and when I believe one of their main things is lightning trigger. It has a lightning trigger.
Yep, and that's what I bought it for, because I've had 2, maybe 3 other lightning triggers, 2 that I've owned, 1 that I've tried, and they were always big, and they always were built in someone's garage. I felt like, this seemed smaller, lighter, and rechargeable. I'd always go out to shoot lightning, and my batteries would be dead. I can literally plug this into one of those battery packs.
So USB, right?
Like one of the Tether Tools battery packs and USB.
Like and battery pack, a phone charger.
And charge it, like the one that's in my camera bag all the time. Boom, plug it in there. And even if it's dead, let it go for a couple of minutes and it'll have enough charge. Let it draw power off that. Yeah.
So this is also rechargeable. Yes, the laser?
Yep.
Okay, now let's go back to this for just a second. This takes a small battery.
Yes.
So that's not included. So you need to get batteries for this, but small price to play.
Let me tell you something. All my lightning, I do a lot of lightning photography. I don't do as much lately since we've owned the studio, but when I do see a storm that's, someplace I can get to a nice backdrop like scene. This, then I'll go for it. You and I tried one night and we got dudded out.
We got rained on. And that was about it.
So that night we didn't need the lightning trigger. It was nighttime. We were able to just open the cameras up if there was any lightning nearby. For this one, daytime, you can't do that. So because you just can't. It's a rule. It's a lightning rule. It's a 500 lightning rule.
500. Yeah. So daytime exposures are the shutter speeds to get a good exposure too fast. But when you're in the evening, you can just open the shutter for several seconds and
Yeah,
wait
most of my
wait for
lightning,
to hit it.
15 to 30 seconds, I can
Right.
open it and let lightning just
Just-
keep happening.
And you get several in the shot.
Yeah, sometimes if you're
But
lucky.
But when it's brighter out, you need the trigger because the shutter speed.
Yeah,
There
you're
you
just
go.
gonna so this would let you capture the infrared kind of blast of the lightning and trigger it.
Cool.
It still baffles me how it even works, but it's science
But
and
it
their
does.
magic.
Yeah, it does work. Yeah. This was kind of cool, and I don't know if this actually is involved with the trigger or not, and I'm sure it is a way.
Or the app.
But yeah, it's more of the app because it'll do star trails and that kind of thing and time lapses.
And it has calculators in there in the app. So if you don't have photo pills and you have this app, it has the calculators in there to help you get some of the calculations down to do this stuff.
So you get your phone out.
Yep.
And it's got all the things in it. It's got interval timers and it does all that stuff.
Yep.
It's very complete, and the app's free. So
you do star trails, time lapse, HDR. Some of that stuff's built into my camera, so I don't utilize it. But like if you were to take this out and go shoot, now you have all those features that you don't have to go buy a new camera. You could spend a very small amount of money and upgrade the camera.
Or several different apps.
Yeah.
Because it does a lot of depth of field calculations and a bunch of other things that are just handy to have.
It does a lot more. We don't have enough time in this video. If you go to the website, you can find out more information.
Nice.
So lots of things. So if you go on bnh.com and buy this, make sure you pick out the right wire. That's one point.
Absolutely.
You don't have to select the option for the laser that comes in it. If you want to play with the water drops, I definitely suggest this over the manual way like you were talking about. And make sure you have one of those rechargeable batteries because, again, this is rechargeable. You can't just pop this open and throw a battery in it.
Right.
So if you have the rechargeable battery, it's just the USB,
Just to
little
keep a charge
USB
on
car
it.
phoner.
Mhm.
You can do it in your car on the way over to shoot too, just on the phone charger if you have one of those.
Cool.
So lots
All
of
right.
cool stuff.
All right. Well, thanks for watching this quick review. And as always, like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you in the next one.